On today's Giraffe Talk, we're going to go over foreign conflicts. We're going to talk about Donald Trump making some big moves. We're going to talk about some legal proceedings, including that of voting rights. We're going to talk about billionaires and their bullshit. We're going to cover some high-profile crimes, and we're going to talk about the concept of LolCows.
What topics are in the news?
Breaking news. Suspect is still alive.
Victim remains.
We will explain how it affects you and expert sources in
The story is still developing. Reports still remain unconfirmed.
They're calling it Kino.
Criticism that Donald Trump has been getting about all these conflicts, all these wars the United States is involved in. He said that he never guaranteed that we wouldn't have any new wars. He just promised that we wouldn't have any new wars. And President Trump stated that he built up the military into being the greatest one in the world. Beforehand, it was the most worthless organization you could imagine, with terrible equipment. The House has approved the War Powers resolution to limit President Trump's war powers in Iran. Trump has summoned his entire cabinet over the negotiations in Iran. Keep going back and forth. Have the negotiations failed? Are they successful? Have they reached a deal? The story changes every couple of fucking hours. At one point, President Trump said he was completely done with negotiations. The whole thing just got fucking boring, and it's going to be up to NATO to reopen the strait. Trump has agreed to Iran's demands of reparations, and it might be up to $200 billion of the taxpayer dollars going to Iran. Then the United States struck Iran again. Hidden water reservoirs, which will leave thousands without water. President Trump has promised to strike other important energy infrastructure. Ultimately, it was Israel that got us involved in conflicts with Iran. They're trying to get us involved with Lebanon. They want us to be complicit in the genocide of the Gaza Strip. And Netanyahu has officially declared the ceasefire to be over, and said that he's going to claim about 70% of the Gaza Strip by the time this is all over with. And the Pentagon has raised the threat of Israeli spies in the US government. And Donald Trump himself has said Netanyahu is fucking crazy. Israel continues to attack Lebanon and has begun an assault on the suburbs. I guess that's where the bombs are or some shit. The UN has officially condemned Israel on its sexual crimes against civilians in the Gaza Strip. The National Defense Authorization Act has a little sub-clause in there that will merge the militaries of Israel and the United States. Russia is considering to end the war of Ukraine over economic reasons. Ukraine has used drones to bomb both Moscow and St. Petersburg. People are starting to question Putin's regime. And the U.S. Senate has agreed to give $2 billion in aid to Ukraine with the conflict against Russia. Let's hope they don't spend it on a bunch of bullshit again. And France is gaining steam with the nuclear deterrence plan. They stated to the European Union, hey, we can't fucking rely on the United States anymore. Let's look into legal proceedings, see what the United States government is doing, focus on some domestic affairs. The Republican Party has officially stated that the anti-AI sentiment that's growing in the United States is probably just a Chinese psyop. And Trump has stated he loves the inflation that's going to do wonders for America. I don't know how lowering the value of the US dollar is going to help us out, but okay. And $7 million of taxpayer dollars are going to be utilized to send coal to Asia to help out the coal industry. I don't know, it sounds like a lot of bullshit to me. It kind of sounds like President Trump carved out a deal with China to provide them with energy resources. President Trump has mobilized the Department of Justice to go after E. Jean Carroll for her claims that Donald Trump had raped her. But his lawsuit against Chuck Red for pulling out of performing at the Trump Kennedy Center, where it's been fucking dropped. And the appeals court has determined that the trans troop ban is illegal, and no charges will be filed against the Southern Poverty Law Center. However, the Supreme Court did end up siding with President Trump. The FCC will retain their power and continue to penalize stations that criticize the government. $7 billion are going to be provided to ICE in a new spending bill. Now let's look at the claims of election fraud. When President Trump was pressed in an interview and asked to provide evidence of election fraud, he stormed out. And President Donald Trump is drafting a plan to prevent the U.S. Postal Service from delivering votes from states that refuse to provide voting lists. Now this is totally against the Constitution, but anything the president does is not illegal as long as it's a presidential act. Speaker Mike Johnson also backs up President Trump's claims of election fraud. And he said it's so rampant in California that you can't even provide evidence of it. Now, of course, this doesn't make any fucking sense, but whatever. A United Airlines flight was forced to land because of a bomb threat Turns out a teenager just had a speaker that was titled Bomb. There's also a developing crime story in Utah regarding the Lego retail company Bricks and Minifigs, who may have stolen up to $200,000 worth of product from a dying elderly man and is utilizing the police to prevent any investigations into this crime. Hello Anthony has been found guilty and is being sentenced for 35 years in imprisonment. Trump has provided an executive order to the CDC, and the mandated childhood vaccines have been dropped from 17 to 11. The website Aliens.gov finally went live. People tuned in to see what the government had to say about alien life, extraterrestrial spacecrafts, and the government conspiracies that cover them up. The website said that they live among us, they breed with us, making half-human hybrids, and these aliens are called illegal immigrants. Does this have any connection with J.D. Vance saying that these aliens are demons? Probably. Now, have you seen an increase of Amazon ads? That might have something to do with the Blue Origin rocket that fucking exploded. I guess Jeff Bezos got to make his money back some kind of way. Peter Thiel's planning to move to Argentina. He said that America no longer lines up with his values of taking over the nation and making a bunch of company towns and spying on the public, and maybe he has better luck there. Now, does this have anything to do with the Nazis leaving Germany and moving to Argentina? Your guess is as good as mine. And Elon Musk reportedly has a plan to use the American citizens' 401k plans to help fund SpaceX. He'll be adding SpaceX to the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 indexes. And what do you know? The plan worked out. Elon Musk is now considered the world's first trillionaire. Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison has made a public statement that United States citizens are going to be on their best behavior from now on because his company is constantly recording them and constantly reporting them to authorities. And recently, Mark Zuckerberg's companies have been targeted by hackers. Instagram suffered a massive hacking attack. All of Meta went down. President Trump's controversial slush fund has faced a lot of criticism, and several Democrat majority states so they're going to have 100% tax on any recipients of this slush fund, which resulted in Donald Trump saying, fucking cancel it. And Trump has announced the Freedom 250, which is going to be a massive concert with all kinds of huge stars. Interestingly, Nicki Minaj, Kid Rock, Aaron Lewis are all not invited to this event, but then a lot of them dropped out, except for like Vanilla Ice. Before the dropouts, Donald Trump finally said, you know what, cancel it. Instead, we're going to have the biggest presidential rally of all time. Now, you might be thinking, a sitting president having a rally is illegal. But once again, anything that's an official presidential act is no longer considered illegal. And we also have the upcoming UFC title card fight on the lawn of the White House, which many people are saying is the most trashy thing they've ever heard. But others are saying it's the most badass thing they've ever heard. Now, what does Giraffe Productions think? Having a high-profile event in the public, outside, with a bunch of highly valued individuals might just be a stupid fucking idea. We have conflicts with Venezuela. We're at war with Iran. We're potentially going to be in conflict with Lebanon. We got issues still in the Gaza Strip. We threatened to invade Greenland, Canada, Panama, Mexico, Denmark. On paper, we're in conflict with Russia. So gathering all these people in a small area seems really fucking stupid, especially when you consider that we have a fucking shooting around the White House every couple of weeks. So I was thinking, we have a lot of eccentric people in this administration. Anybody from Donald Trump himself, his kids Eric and Barron Trump, Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, our personality of governors and mayors all across this nation, different political pundits, streamers, and commentators, along with the eccentric billionaires such as Eric Carr, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos, made me think about the concept of LolCows. What exactly is a LolCow? How do you become one? Can you find redemption? And why do they garner so much attention? So the main topic of today's Giraffe Talk, LolCows. What is the phenomenon and who are the individuals? This is Giraffe TV.
LolCows are in-depth analysis.
What is a LolCow? It's an individual whose eccentric, controversial, or foolish behavior can be exploited by an audience for their amusement. It's kind of like a cash cow, but instead of milking it for money, you milk it for laughs. Main criteria for being a LolCow is being a thin-skinned narcissist with no self-awareness. Generally, they have an internet addiction. They overshare their personal life, and they cannot help but to feed the trolls. There's some other telltale traits. Most of them have a bad sense of fashion, bad hair, a weird voice. God damn it, Shit! Ah, fuck! They have bad hygiene, terrible dental health. They burn bridges with their friends, with their family, and have a tumultuous love life. They have an inability to manage their finances. They can't take care of their pets. And generally, they have a mental health issue or they're neurodivergent in some manner, and that's usually autism. Now, you may think a lot of this is bullying, but also a lot of these guys tend to be shitty people in general. So when an infant is born and it passes away in a few weeks, a lot of doctors diagnose it with a failure to thrive. They just cannot exist outside of their mother's womb. And in many cases, lolcows got a similar dysfunction. They cannot survive in the outside world. One of the most important things to remember with lolcows is don't touch the poo. Essentially, if you interact with something shitty, you're going to get a little shitty. This can manifest by white knighting or A-logging. You're watching a Giraffe production. White knighting is when you try to help or defend a lolcow from the internet. There's numerous motives that a white knighter could have. They may feel pity or remorse. This happened a lot with Tofiachu. A lot of people feel bad for her. Donated money to help her out. Who took advantage of it and just blew it on frivolous shit like clothes, like fast food, and left her mother suffering and her brother's ashes to be fucking dumped. Sometimes it may be from a place of empathy. You see a little bit of yourself or your past self in the lolcow. A lot of people felt this way with King Cobra. They realized he wasn't a bad person, tried to help him out, and in some ways providing him with money and booze kinda led to his demise. Some people may feel that the lolcow is harmed by circumstances beyond their control. An example of this can be Cyrax. He was born with a whole host of health problems. He has a shitty family, a shitty living environment. I mean, just look at him. You think he wanted to be born like this? In some cases, a white knight may believe that the trolls are worse than the lolcow. This happened with Chris Chan for a while, between Blue Spike, Isabel Loretta Jenke, and the Idea Guys, and some white knights are simply attention whores. They want to be the center of attention, they want to take the spotlight, they want to look like a hero. Now here's reasons why you should not white knight. A lot of these guys are beyond saving. Let's be real, you're probably not a psychologist, you're not a social worker. Another reason why you shouldn't is that the lolcow is probably taking advantage of you, whether it's financially or out of the kindness of your heart, and you end up enabling the lolcow to self-destruct even more. In addition to that, helping out a lolcow doesn't make you a hero. When you look into the circumstances and the lives of these lolcows, you realize everybody connected to them is both a victim and a villain. It's just not worth the fucking stress. You gotta take into account that lolcows just simply do not learn the lessons. Even if they cognitively understand the circumstances, they're not gonna better themselves. Take for an example, World of T-shirts. He knows he's an alcoholic and he knows he's fucking his life up, but he's not gonna do anything about it. You're watching Giraffe Talk. Now there's also A-logging. That's when you either wish or cause harm to a lolcow for the perceived crimes. And it's usually done in a disproportionate manner. Now why do people A-log? A lot of times it's used as a troll shield. The A-loggers themselves are lame as fuck. They're in denial that they're a fucking loser. And they bully the lolcows so they themselves are not bullied. Some of them are what you call anti-devotees. They see the lolcows as an anti-role model and they want to punish them for it. They want to shut them down. They want to fuck their lives up. Some people just fucking hate the lolcows. They see it as doing evil onto evil, and others target lolcows because they think that they're a bad representation of a minority group. This is when people come after autistic lolcows because they think they're bad autists. Now here's some reasons why you shouldn't A-log. One, most of these lolcows aren't really that evil. They're just kind of weird, they're kind of eccentric, they're kind of a goofball. Two, if you try too hard, you can become a target yourself. As you get involved in the lolcow, more information of yourself becomes public. Another one to take into mind is legal consequences. The lolcows themselves aren't always immune to the law, so what the fuck makes you think that you would be? Another is the fact that trolling a lolcow, bullying a mentally disabled person, kicking somebody when they're down on luck doesn't make you a fucking hero, doesn't make you a success. Honestly, being better than a lolcow isn't a fucking achievement. And in many cases, the people who are A-logging, the people who are trolling, can be worse than the lolcow themselves. What is the attraction? In many ways, it's similar to reality TV, where you look at somebody who's a goofball, you look at somebody's drama and their misfortunes, and you kind of just point and laugh. It's similar to the freak shows of the past. But really, I think a lolcow is fundamentally the same archetype as the town fool or the village idiot. Except with modern technology, they can broadcast their behavior to the entire fucking world. In some cases, there's a sense of relatability. People look at a LolCow and they think, you know, I used to be kind of cringy myself. And in some cases, they have common ground, like a nerdy interest. For example, I myself am a metalhead. Drakenlord is a metalhead. There's also an individual's fear of failure. They think, man, if I fuck up too bad, I could be just like this jackass. Or it can make you think of somebody you know from your hometown who never managed to really get their life on track, never really managed to launch. Some people who see it as a mystery, something to investigate. From what I gather, there's several different categories of a LolCow. One is a celebrity. I don't really think these count as a LolCow. There's also the fallen celebrity, somebody who once had a fan base and success, but their time in the limelight is up, but nobody fucking told them. Now they may be trying to grasp for the celebrity status because they cannot find another fucking job, they spend all of their money, they miss the attention, they miss the fame. We also have the straightforward LolCow. These are people that never really had fans, never had success. The entire fan base consists of either trolls or people who are watching out of a morbid curiosity. When a LolCow's life gets too bad, when the circumstances turn too shitty, they no longer provide us with laughs. They provide us with fucking horror. Horrors beyond human comprehension. This is when they become a horror cow. Now not every LolCow reaches the status, but a lot of the classic examples, the most well-known examples, evolve into a horror cow. There's also a peculiar set of circumstances where a LolCow documentarian becomes a LolCow themselves. Now fret not. You can redeem yourself from being a LolCow. Bam Margera finally got his life back on fucking track. He's overcoming his depression, he's focusing on goals, he's getting back to where he once was. Airsoft Fatty finally got it together. Lost a colossal amount of weight, got himself a place to stay, and he's providing content. He's doing creative endeavors. This is Giraffe Productions.
False LolCows.
Now, there are some people that are considered LolCows, but I don't think they fit the bill. Some people like Sammy, Sonic Classic fan, he was just a kid. Jessie Slaughter was a young child who was failed by every adult in her life and faced severe abuse. The angry homo kid just didn't know how the internet fucking worked. Joey's world tour was fucking awesome. That vegan teacher was just a bitch. Danny was just funny as fuck. Then there's people like Pupina, Copper Cat, Trisha Paytas, Nicocado Avocado, and Baton Evans, who are obviously just trolling. They're playing a fucking character. And then there's the Bagel Boss, who thought he was a short king LolCow, but he was really a half-bastard meme. He didn't really take off. So let's get a look at the cast of LolCows.
You're watching Giraffe.
Celebrity LolCows.
So there's the celebrity LolCows, which I don't really personally consider to be fucking LolCows. They got too much fans, too much money, too much success. But like Kanye West, that's one goofy son of a bitch. If he was a character in a TV show, he'd be by far my favorite character. And we have other people like Alex Jones, Tila Tequila, Ronnie Radke, his anagram, Drake, Elon Musk, DJ Khaled, Ted Nugent, Scott Adams, the jackass who made Dilbert, Jeffrey Duncan Jones, who might be a horror cow, Lil Pump, who might be a horror cow, and Brenna Schaub, who... never mind, Brenna Schaub, he's a fucking LolCow. So all these people, despite how eccentric they are, how foolish their actions can be, how controversial they can fucking act, they still have a lot of fans, they have a lot of money, they have a lot of success. This is Giraffe Productions.
Fallen creators.
Now there's a step below the celebrity LolCows, and they're the fallen creators. Now these people at one point had a huge fan base, they were fucking killing it, and then they had a couple missteps, a couple controversies. Or we kind of learned too much about them and realized they fucking sucked. Like FouseyTube. FouseyTube is an interesting example of this. He's had like 10 different fucking careers. It always starts with him achieving a small amount of success, going viral again, getting a bunch of fans to focus on him. Then he gets money, he loses his fucking mind, he does something terrible, he crashes out and he ruins his career. Then he begins to humble himself. The fans tune in, he gets a viral moment, takes off again, fucks his life up all over.
You ever text or call my daughter ever again, and I promise you it's the last number you are ever gonna dial. I will find you and I will hurt you, and I'm not around.
And he did. Funny guy, now an alcoholic sex pest. What more is there to say?
What? They didn't let you in because you're wasted, Andy? Is that what the deal is? Andy, what's wrong with you, Andy? What's wrong? Watch out before you hit your camera, dude. I'm serious. See? Get it! See, got it! You're not gonna let go!
He got it.
Damn.
Hey, I'll tell you. Hey!
Idubbbz and Anisha Joma. Idubbbz was considered a darling of the YouTube community. He met Anissa, who started an OnlyFans. He got a little bit of heat. He showed that he was thin-skinned. He fucked up Creator Clash and turned into a social event for celebrities. Idubbbz would stab his old friends in the back for clout. Then his new friends would stab him in the back for clout. Darkside Phil never improved the quality of his videos. We found out he kinda sucks at games. He beat his meat on stream.
What is up, everyone? Hello, and welcome. Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
Wings of Redemption crashed out because he lost a match. There was pedophile allegations. He pissed off his friends from PKA. Russian FPS tried to make him lose weight, and he fucking failed. He got kicked off his podcast. Then he joined the LolCow podcast with Keemstar. And he fucked that shit up. He got caught pushing his wife to the ground.
Someone take him down. Holy shit!
Eventually, fans realized that Wings of Redemption kind of fucking sucks. Only Used My Blade went from streamer to alcoholic. He cucked a fan, and then he possibly date raped a woman. Now he's a middle-aged man who's an alcoholic. He's a sex pest. He's homeless. He had a bunch of his toes amputated, so he got some fucking stump now. And he drifts from friends' houses to his mama's house, and has pretty much wasted his entire potential and shat on his entire career. Spoony One was a funny and creative guy. He lost motivation due to depression and laziness, and now wastes his fucking life doing nothing. Low tier God became famous because he was a bully, but then we realized he got thin skin and rage quits in games. He's also very racist against black people and Mexicans, and he's a deadbeat dad to his child, a half-Mexican young lady. He even got a restraining order against his baby mama. He spends all his time e-begging for money. He's a middle-aged man without a fucking job. And he may also be a fucking pedophile. He does provide quite a bit of entertainment, but people are laughing at him as much as they're laughing with him. TJ Kirk, the amazing atheist, the archetype for the Reddit atheist. He got caught shoving a banana up his ass, and some of his viewpoints haven't aged the best. And he may also be a fucking pedophile. Boogie2988. Now, I've always hated this motherfucker. He had his fake nice guy persona, the Mr. Rogers of the internet. But as we've seen with his divorce of his wife, the character he played was who he really was.
Super late ruining shows.
Max I only got 3 hours.
Shut the fuck up!
99 cents. Lol, then message me then Boogie at Max_Ellis74.
Thank you, Max. Dude, looks like he pissed up his back. What the fuck's going on over there? Jesus Christ.
I don't know. Jesus. Boogie, sit your fat ass back down.
You know what? It's actually nice to have a moment of peace. I don't know what he's doing. It sucks not having wings here, right? That whole thing is a thing. We have to move on somehow, but he just can't let it go.
He participated in crypto scams, had a 19-year-old girlfriend that he's obviously manipulated, refuses to get a job, leeches off of his friends. But I think he might have lied about his childhood molestation. Because somebody who lies about being molested as a child is the same type of person who lies about having cancer. And Boogie also lied about having cancer. He invited Frank Hassel to come to his house for a confrontation, then tried to kill him, and fired a weapon in a school zone. Onision, kind of a funny, random internet humor guy, but it turned out he was a weirdo, he was a pedophile, he was a big fan of 9 Inch Nails, well into his 30s and 40s. He was a massive pussy and also an abusive dickhead.
My Patreon, people have already made me. Like, I don't know. I'm being. Oops. I guess none of you.
Oh, I'll give you one.
Been pretty out of. They don't want to be a decency. I'm for Dobbs. Because if you say baby, the instability when he's upside. It's like this video. Oh shit! God, this is better than my psychopathic by Google. Very.
Maddox, funny as fuck, had the best page in the universe. Then he became the libtard, tried to sue his former co-host, and got legally defined as a cuck. Plague Moth, he's already on dangerous grounds, reviewing gore videos and weird shit like that, but then we figured out he was a cringy, edgy, thin-skinned fucking loser. Used his daughter's diabetes to grift fans out of money so he can buy new equipment. Mama Matt found out he wasn't really stopping pedophiles, and he was more interested on the vibe of his videos, making a cool little atmosphere than getting anything accomplished. Yanray Dev, he was working on a game about a schoolgirl who's trying to kill rivals for her crush. He got a lot of acclaim at first, a lot of people were interested, but then we kind of realized he was a weird pervert. When his DMs got leaked, we realized he was probably also a pedophile, which kind of makes the whole thing weird in context. Also, Yanray Simulated is never fucking coming out. Angry video game nerd, a certified legend, is now considered kind of a LolCow that's stuck in this perpetual cycle. He wants to make films and focus more on cinema, but he's stuck doing video game shit. Shadman. He was an artist who depicted erotic scenes of various characters, especially in a pedophilic nature, and eventually he was revealed to be an erotic artist that depicted a variety of characters in sexual situations, including underage characters. Pirate Software. He's a Nepo baby that pretended to be a software developer for Blizzard, but he's really just a quality assurance tester. He also faked having a deep voice. What the fuck? He found himself on the wrong side of the Stop Killing Games movement, couldn't take criticism, crashed out, and seems like a jackass now. Vosh, a libtard commentator who was caught beating his meat to goblin porn, lolicon, and horsecocks.
See, this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
And that honestly did not surprise me. You take one look at this guy, you know that's the shit he was doing. And he kind of got soft canceled for being a total gooner. Lindsay Ellis, the nostalgia chick from Channel Awesome. She kind of has a fan base, but she turned her back on it to get more of a liberal slant, become an SJW. And she hasn't inherently done anything bad. Her trying to juggle her past and her present is notable just for being goofy. And a quartering, a fucking neckbeard, turned right-wing grifter. He's an alcoholic man-child, rallies against cancel culture, got cooked by Adam Sillers, shits himself, and follows little girls to troll him and own the libs. You're watching Giraffe TV.
You're LolCows.
So now let's look at the purebred LolCow. We got Dragon Lord. He's a German metalhead who lives in a shitty house. He's a sexual degenerate who fights trolls in his front yard, but now he's fucking homeless. World of T-shirts, an alcoholic TikToker who travels the world, who's famous for his crash outs, which can be triggered by grabbing his hat or telling him to put the fries in the fucking bag.
You wanna fight, bitch? I don't get paid enough for this shit! Can't I have a good time for once in my life?
It's a coordinated attack.
I make more money than ya! I make more money than ya! You wanna fight, bitch? Yeah. Whoa. Don't get that camera out of my face! You don't belong in a luxury neighborhood!
Josh, please. Torrin Spidey, another travel blogger, became a homeless drug addict who mooches and scams off of everyone. Amberlynn Reed, an abusive narcissist, keeps saying she's going to lose her weight and get on these fat loss challenges and always fails. She's also notable for having 2 pet cats who died due to her neglect. Nova Online, a TikTok streamer who reviews food, notable for being kind of a fucking goofball, and then we figured out he's also a pedophile who uses Discord to groom minors. Jupiter the Hybrid. He's kind of like a refugee from Tumblr into the whole other king thing. He pretends he's a vampire or a werewolf or a fucking demon. He's a wannabe cult leader, a predator, an abuser, and his brothers are abusers and predators as well. Tammy Hull. Basically, she's a crazy lady outside of a gas station, and I kind of like this one.
And I don't care what little clips of my life you send to the judge. Yeah, I don't care. Harass her like I've been harassed and see how she likes it. Yeah, no one would like it. It's ridiculous.
She's fucking awesome. Tony Chase is a schizophrenic man that loves to record his thoughts. It usually involves satellites targeting his teeth and rotting him out with laser rays, that he's a superhuman. He goes on about eugenics. He thinks he's a hermaphrodite, but he's definitely not gay.
That satellite man just communicated. He said he dared me to claim that I outranked him or something. Do you own Smith & Wesson or do I? Do you own Winchester or do I? Do I own the NRA or do you? Do I own military installations, weapons corporations in this country, or do you? Do I own air fighter jet manufacturing and commercial jet manufacturing? Do I own car company?
White Bowser was another weird guy who self-snitched on groping an underage co-worker. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Lamar, a pedophile rapper with a gaudy-ass car. Brandon Brutal, an emo TikToker who turned out to be a pedophile. Bossman Jack, now I actually like this guy. He's this pissed off, cokehead gambler, and he'll reach the highest highs of his life, winning tens of thousands of dollars while gambling, and then he'll lose hundreds of thousands of dollars while fucking gambling. He destroys his door, gets into arguments with his parents, then blows his money on coke. Honestly, very entertaining. Fed smoker, absolute badass. Now he is a LolCow. The targets corrupt federal employees, and he's actually got some of them fired and some of them locked up. He puts out stickers on his skin, cuts his hair by setting it on fire.
See, I feel I'm blessed more than the average. See, I already tried to kill myself, Americans, with a 30-30 Winchester at like 9 years old. And what I'm getting at...
Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but he was a real badass while he was. Dimension 7 Yo, the definition of a loud neighbor.
I got my new Nike clothes on. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. With the new shoes! Dimension 7 Yo! This is Dimension 7 Yo! This is Dimension 7 Yo! Merry Christmas, everyone! Dimension 7 Yo's here!
Eventually, he would get locked up because he couldn't stop threatening to shoot up schools.
Welburn was booked into the Volusia County Jail Monday. Police in Port Orange say they got a call from a woman who had seen a video on YouTube of someone threatening a mass school shooting in Spruce Creek.
Pampachu, one of the most disgusting ones. The guy wears dirty diapers that he microwaves to clean. He's a furry. He stomps animals. He's also a self-admitted pedophile. Really disgusting son of a bitch.
Hello everyone, this is Pampachu, and this is the very first micro preemie diaper smashing.
Ash Trevino, she considers herself to be a prison wife, has dated like 30 inmates, got 2 kids that she neglects. In general, just a shitty person and an even shittier mom. Shanny for Christ, a scammer who can't get a fucking job. She leeches off of her family members, and the only one that's worse than her is her boyfriend, who's unemployed and leeches off of Shanny for Christ's family members. She has 2 sons that she lost custody over. Dominic Schmidt, a cringy, ADHD-ridden stalker who does shit for attention and loves giving himself wedgies.
Please don't give me another wedgie. I'm just an innocent nerd. I'll give you my lunch money. Please, I'll give you my lunch money. Please don't wedgie me. Oh, wedgie. I'm such a nerd.
He obviously has a humiliation fetish, and he's gay as fuck. King Cobra, JFS. Now this is another LolCow that I actually kind of like. He's a metalhead, real big into Ozzy Osbourne, a herpetologist, makes his own mead, gets hooked up with even shittier girlfriends, and he could genuinely be kind of hilarious.
Cobra, what's your ideal woman? Well, first of all, of age, alive, cisgendered, consenting, non-related, and at least a 4 or above on the good looks scale. Like if she's a 6 on her best day, you know, kind of thing. Preferably someone who is 21 and up. That's as low as I go, is 21.
In regards to most of the LolCows, he was mostly harmless and has unfortunately passed away due to complications with his health. Then we got Andrew Ditch, who's a middle-aged man who suddenly pretended to have autism to engage in his fetish with having other people wipe his ass.
And I think I'm pooping myself, damn it. I'm pooping myself. I'm pooping myself. I'm breathing. I didn't even know I was recording this.
Now this guy's significant because he's wasting more social service resources than anybody else I fucking know. He treats his parents like shit, and for a while he even faced legal consequences for trying to poison his family. And his parents got sick as fuck from this. His brother hates him, honestly a huge scumbag, and I legitimately detest this dude. He doesn't actually have fucking autism. You can see it wear off when he thinks he's not being recorded.
Okay, hello guys, I'm Andrew from eBest PCs here. I'm going to show you how to hook up a wireless network into an existing single connection computer internet connection. So what you're going to need is a wireless modem, or I'm sorry, a cable modem or DSL modem, something like this here. This here happens to be a Motorola surfboard.
Then there's Sophia Chu, who's notable for having a bizarre family. Papa Chu honestly warms his own spot. Papa Chu's a schizophrenic homeless man.
$999 zillion. Every nation is to print $999 zillion and wait for further instructions. Okay, world governments. I want you to write me here, including the USA. I need $999 zillion a year as my pay to be co-shared by every nation in the goddamn world. Thank you.
She also has Mama Chu, who's a sad sack, and I feel kind of bad for her for having such a shitty family. And Brother Chu, who's no longer with us and was shot in a car robbery. Sophia Chu has a complete lack of regard for her family members, a complete inability to try to better herself, an inability to give a shit about anybody but herself.
I'm going to be very successful. I'm going to own my own house. While you sit there, or not even sit there, while you live on the side of a dumpster. Because you will never amount to anything.
When her family was facing eviction, she didn't think about getting a job. When her brother got killed, she didn't think about trying to pay for his funeral. She does nothing to take care of her mom who's facing plenty of health issues, and she doesn't give a shit that her dad is a homeless, schizophrenic criminal.
This is Giraffe.
Now there's the next level of LolCows, the horror cows. Now the horror cows is going to be some real nasty shit, and it consists of some of the most viral content covered in the Giraffe video. If you don't want your day ruined, this is probably where you want to leave the video. Jay Sonic, huge Sonic fan, maybe too big of a Sonic fan. He became infamous for fucking Sonic plushies, and he was officially cancelled when talking to some underage fake fans who were trying to troll him, and kept asking them for nudes and dick pics. Smart Schoolboy 9, he's a mysterious horror cow. He dresses up as a schoolboy, walks around town, and he edits pictures of children to put his face on them. He might possibly be a pedophile, but he's so fucking mysterious, no one knows. But he makes my fucking skin crawl. Daniel Larson, a mentally ill, homeless pedophile, an aspiring singer, and he became infamous for stalking this young lady, Grace Vanderwall. He hallucinated himself being in a relationship with this young lady. But that's not why he got locked up. He got locked up for threatening to bomb a variety of federal buildings, including the White House, and killing the president.
Till the day you fucking die! Bomb you! Bomb you! Bomb you! Bomb you! Kill you! Kill you! Kill you! Call the feds on me, you fucking liar!
Cyrax, he's a juggalo, he's a metalhead, and he's a gamer.
What he just plugged in was a 10 gigawatt kill stick that disrupts any technology plugged into it.
Mr. Cyrax, if you don't believe us, try plugging it in somewhere else.
It's done. We know where you are. We have
Oh
the
my
message.
God.
We have
Oh
everything.
my God.
We're in your Facebook.
Cyrax, this is what happened. You don't go on fucking panel, you motherfucker.
This is what happened, you nigger boy.
Oh my God.
Now this bald-headed, ugly-ass dwarf was born with a host of health problems, including cleidocranial dystosis. He was missing a kidney and had 1.5 lungs. He may have suffered from fetal alcohol syndrome. So you think this guy might garner some sympathy, but he's a fucking monster. He's a third-generation pedophile rapist, which is an insane sentence to even make. He abuses his grandma, He stuck a silas up his ass, threatened suicide all the goddamn time, is a plagiarist, is a theft. In high school, he raped a fellow disabled student. He didn't get kicked out of high school until he was 21. He wasn't smart enough to graduate. Now, Cyrax has this interesting thing where the more he talks, the dumber you realize he is. He has a hole in the side of his dick that became infected because he couldn't stop gooning. Now, his main goal is to get himself a girlfriend who has kids and then get full custody over them. Now, why the fuck do you think he's doing that? Creepy ass motherfucker deserves zero sympathy. Kirill the Wolf, furry that's into vor, bestiality, animal torture, and roadkill, necrophilia. He's an example of one of the most disgusting horror cows. Viper. Now originally I found this guy kind of entertaining. He made hit songs such as You Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack.
What's up with that? Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
And has an expansive discography. But he was also a scammer. He wouldn't deliver products that fans bought. He had a fake moving service. He's been caught trying to message minors as young as 16. And he might have kidnapped a woman and held her hostage for 4 or 5 years. This guy's an absolute crackhead. In this category, of course, is Chris Chan, the inventor of Sonic Chew. If you're looking at LolCow videos, you probably already know this guy's history, and it's too expansive to cover in one giraffe video.
This does not even deserve a captain's log introduction, because this is dead serious. The inside and outside tour I did a few months ago of my house, everyone on the internet, my mother and my father are angry at me. They're blaming at me. It's my fault. I admit it's my fault. I want everything about my house off the internet. I'll send in detectives. I'll send in police. I'll send in everything in my power to get it off the internet.
Shut that goddamn thing off. I don't care what you do. You get all that stuff off of there tonight.
I'm working on it.
Go work on it.
I am
Do
working.
you realize something? Let me tell you. If the health department of Greene County sees those videos that you put on the damn internet, they could condemn our house and we would have to move out of it.
He's considered to be one of the most documented humans of the modern era, and he became infamous after being arrested for raping his senile mother.
Chris Chan, what's up? When you get out, let's do the kill stream. I told you.
Not going, not complying.
Is the car locked?
I am good.
Is
like
the car
this.
locked?
You are.
I
You
think so.
absolutely are.
Yeah, you appear to be compliant.
Chastised you, your goddess blue heart, and I continue to stand strong, and I maintain everything with quick fill in my side shoes and road shoes and everybody.
Yeah, you're live to about 3,000 people right now, Christian. How's the last few days been? I know it's been pretty stressful.
It's been stressful, but I've taken it one moment at a time, and I got my loves.
You raped your mother and then bragged about it. Chris, the only reason you're denying it is because people are upset with you. Enjoy your dollar. Don't spend it all in one place.
Isabel Loretta Jenkins. She's the woman who proudly says she talked Chris Chan into raping his own mother. But she has a whole host of other crimes. Her parents are fucking glories. Her mom's a social worker. Her dad works with cybersecurity. That's how she gets away with her bullshit. She made a pseudo cult in college and would secretly have her biggest exploit inject female hormones, forcibly transitioning him. She's into vor. She's into gore. She's into shit. She's a corpophiliac. She tortures animals and overall a huge piece of shit. She has the disgusting fungal infection that makes her toenails and fingernails fall off, and she super glues them back on. Her dry ass skin is covered in zits and weird abrasions, and she's just a nasty bitch, both physically and in spirit. Nick Bates, the archetypical neckbeard, real into corporophilia. The guy liked playing with shit. He stalked a weeaboo named Anna Nichols, but he wasn't locked up for that. He was sentenced to 40 years for raping his 6-year-old sister. Honestly, the definition of disgusting ass nasty internet person. Elliot Rogers. Now he was an incel whose videos I caught before his infamous shooting spree.
Hey, Elliot Roger here. I don't know why you girls are so repulsed by me. It doesn't make sense. I'm sophisticated. I'm magnificent. I'm the ultimate gentleman. These sunglasses here were $300. Giorgio Armani. So I'll put them on. See? Hold on. Car. See? Look at how fabulous I look.
And I thought the guy was kind of a clown. Honestly, I thought he might be a caricature. But then he would stab 3 people to death, shoot 10 people, resulting in 3 deaths, and hit 7 people with his fucking car. Overall, the guy's a fucking monster, upset at his inability to get laid, and kind of quiescent the modern day incel ideology. And he's definitely cemented himself as one of the most dangerous horror cows of all time. Randy Starr. Randy Starr may be familiar to true crime fans. He was a Danny Phantom fan who was in love with the villainous character Ember. He thought he could die and become a ghost and marry her. I don't know, the guy had a fucking screw loose. He did achieve some kind of fame but could never really keep it consistent. And eventually he snapped, went into work and killed 3 of his co-workers. All in all, the guy had a really bad case of arrested development and derealization. Really just a fucking idiot.
This is a Giraffe production.
LolCow documentarians.
Now, LolCow documentarians. Now, this is when somebody touches the poo. You stare into the void, and the void stares back. This is the dangers of even interacting with this entire subject. Underflow, once beloved by the LolCow community. And then he'll make an all-ages Discord with some truly perverted conversations in there. He got called out on it, kind of self-canceled himself, came back for one more video. And it's interesting that he took 6 months to address this controversy and then just left again. Leaping Gleamer. Now, I suspected this guy has some LolCow behaviors. I mean, he sounds fat in his videos. Then we see that he's a disgusting, greasy, unhygienic piece of shit. He already involved himself in Nova's Discord. He tried to become Daniel Larson's manager. Then he ended up date raping his 19-year-old girlfriend after providing her with alcohol. And overall, just kind of a nasty fuck. He's trying to make a comeback, but he doesn't really have a fan base anymore. Keemstar became famous for being a Halo griefer and trolling kids. Then he became a drama YouTuber and got involved in pretty much every piece of internet drama that there is. Now, he may just be trolling, but he made sexual comments towards children, which is not cool in any context. Numerous projects have failed due to his ego. He's kind of annoying, kind of immature, but all this will come to a head when he made the LolCow podcast. And we realized that he's kind of very similar to Wings of Redemption and Boogie 2988. There was no real difference that we could see between him and Boogie 2988 and Wings of Redemption, and we kind of realized that he was a fucking LolCow himself who just didn't know it. Anthony Legato. Now, he's the one where the phrase A-Log has came from. He's a massive troll to Chris Chan, and he fucking hated this guy. Said he was worse than war criminals. And he was a classic case of flying too close to the sun. And as he continued trolling, we learned more and more about this individual, and he had a startling set of similarities to Chris Chan himself. He was fat. He was autistic. He was unemployed. He lived with his mommy. He was a lazy piece of shit, a racist, and a homophobe, and had no bitches. Clark, also known as Griffin, he was a Daniel Larson troll, and kept getting too involved in the life of Daniel Larson. He touched the fucking poo. He got kicked out of college for being a goddamn alcoholic, and decided to become Daniel Larson's manager to troll him. Probably because he felt insecure about his own life, right? He caused numerous Daniel Larson chimp outs. He made a fake college class for Daniel Larson to enroll in. And eventually, due to his connections with Daniel Larson, he was also visited by the FBI while he was at work. He would give up, tell Daniel Larson the truth, that he was just trolling him the whole time, try to give him some good advice, which of course Daniel Larson didn't fucking listen to. He threw out an infamous anti-SJW, who would get in a little bit of trouble after punching a female cop. He received some flack for denying that the Holocaust happened, and he was the one who filmed Chris Chan being arrested for raping his mom. But he would finally be officially canceled after accidentally revealing a sex tape he made with a high school age fan. And not only that, he revealed that he has a massive guns. Eventually, he got so much fucking hate and so much heat on him that he fled to Mexico. He's tried to restart his career a couple of times. Nobody gives a fuck. His former co-host on his podcast pretty much just dunk on him all the time. So, yeah, fuck this guy. Bo Blocks used to be a drama tuber, and eventually was revealed to have a transvestite fetish. Although he himself was not trans, he got off wearing female clothing and pretending to be a woman. When videos were uploaded that provided critiques on him, he'd copyright strike them. And when he was confronted with his behavior, he would crash the fuck out and blame it on BPD. And eventually he'd give up and make an OnlyFans account. Don't look at it. Trust me, don't check this shit out. Don't even put it in Google search. Trust me. And finally, Giraffe Productions. Shit. Damn. Fuck. Alright. Giraffe Productions started as a comedy troupe. They made comedic sketches filled with millennial humor. Now they kind of rebranded themselves into some kind of news talk show. Each video is filled with terrible audio, terrible video quality, bizarre graphics, And you can tell the exact moment when the guy just gives up and uploads the rest of this bullshit. They're late to almost every damn topic that they cover. They cannot keep a format. Overall, Giraffe Productions, a massive waste of time. This is Giraffe TV.
The world is a dark and uncertain place.
Throughout all of human history, every individual human had an internal conflict between being based and being cringe. The status of a LolCow is when you lose that battle to cringe, and you don't even fucking know it. It gets to the point where you're no longer true to yourself, but rather a drain on society. This manifests in the modern era with the Zoomer's desire to become a famous streamer, while they battle with the social anxiety. This combined with a massive case of arrested development, the refusal to get a job, to enroll in education, to train for a profession, to move out of the childhood home, the fear of facing the world. And then you combine that with the internet addiction. We're talking about people who more than likely have some kind of mental illness. A lot of them are undiagnosed. A lot of them have not received the help they should have got. And of course, society just watches the shit show. How can you look away? There are so many LolCows being involved in crimes, maybe we need to watch them. Though as I said before, everyone involved in a LolCow story seems to find themselves to be both a villain and a victim.
And now, a musical performance by them.
Filled with this empty feeling, tear this layer off the ceiling, so you don't seem so far away from here, from here. How's the view from Radio Wind? My atmosphere. Is your mind clear? Am I safe here? And it's getting harder to breathe. I just wanna feel something besides the pain that lies beneath. I'd say I'm alright, but I'd be lying through my teeth. Yeah, I'd be lying through my teeth. Filled with this empty feeling, tear this layer off the ceiling, so that I can see the stars, so that I might find the guide, so I can feel like I'm someone, like I'm someone, someone. And it's getting harder to breathe. Oh, I just wanna feel something. I wanna tell you that am I gonna be alone? Have no one to call my own. No place I can't call home.